All right, guys, and welcome back to Yo Spill. So tonight we are going to fix the PT Cruiser and test out the motor and transmission. This build will be very short-lived because we have bigger and better plans for the motor and trans, but we need to get it running, figure out what was wrong with it, and make sure everything is good before we do all the extra work to pull it out and swap it into another car. That will happen later on in the build series. But what we've done so far is we pulled the lower torque mount out, the lower pulley off, all the intake manifold stuff off. We have the old belt, which is clearly broken in half. Pulled all the covers off. They have a setting on a jack and jack stand. We got it in time with our DCR, basically camshaft holder. We got it at top dead center. You can't see down here, but the little line lines up down there. So what we're gonna do is get a new belt on it. We pulled the whole intake manifold off because we do have a stage 2 Mopar ECU that we plan on throwing into it, so we can have a better map, feel, and everything. We just got to find our stage 2 injectors. But if we get it running and have a little bit of fun with it before it gets swapped into another car, it'll give us a clear mind that we have no issues with the motor or transmission, so that we don't have to dig into it farther. So let's get right into the video. Hope you guys enjoy, and hope you guys like the new hats. All right, guys, so I'm back with you guys, and it's timed. The motor mount is on. This thing is an absolute disaster. I feel bad for anybody that ever has to work on a PT Cruiser, but basically you pull this torque mount off, you pull the lower torque mount off, and there's 3 15mm bolts that go through this bracket, but this bracket also goes into the tensioner and into the water pump. So if you don't put all the bolts back into this, you potentially can get a water leak through the water pump because you won't have enough torque against it. And then this top one right here goes in the block, but you have to route it around the belt back here in the back, and then around the front of the belt up here, and then it actually holds the power steering pump over here. So what I did is removed everything out the way. I checked the AC to make sure it didn't have any pressure in it, which it didn't. So I just removed the AC lines. They're sitting over there. Like I said, this motor is going to be swapped into another car in the future, and the AC didn't work, so there's no reason for us to keep the lines in the way. Makes it a little easier getting it out. So what we're doing now is we're sourcing a new set of plugs for this thing. We are trying to find the 3-bar map sensor, which you need for stage 2, the injectors, which you need for stage 2, and the ECU. We know we have the ECU, we know we have the injectors somewhere. We hope we have the 3-bar map sensor. We're pretty sure we do, because we had stripped 2 SRT4s before, and both of them had stage 2 ECUs on them. So we should have the part somewhere, but in a garage like this, the problem is finding stuff sometimes. We don't really have problems finding tools because we have them all generally located in the same location. But with all the cars we've ripped apart recently, being the Neon and the Saturns and now the PT Cruiser, finding parts becomes pretty interesting. So I'm gonna get back to working on this thing. I gotta get this torque mount in, the lower torque mount in, gotta get the lower crank pulley on, get the belts on, and then we can get to the water. And once we get all this stuff situated, there's the lower intake manifold and its bracket. Then we can put the injectors in, then the upper intake manifold, and hook up all the wiring and hopefully start this thing. So tonight we plan on getting this thing running, even if it's on the OEM injectors in tune or the stage 2 injectors in tune. We plan on at least getting it running. So stay tuned, and I'll be back with another update. All right, guys, so we have timing all set, motor mount in, upper and lower. We have everything under the car put back together. Something I did off camera is we had a old 3-inch catback exhaust, downpipe back exhaust. So we took the stock exhaust that the car had already had that rusted off, and we put our 3-inch dump with a muffler under the PT. So I am now Just got done cleaning up the intake manifold, the lower part of the intake manifold. I put a new gasket. We have a new gasket for the top, so I can get the injectors on. I'm actually going to use our injector tester, test them out, make sure they're good. I have all the wiring back together, so the only thing we have left is injectors right here, upper part of the intake manifold, fuel rail, and then we should be able to test fire the PT. I hope it runs. It turns over very easy, but these motors are supposed to be non-interference, so there should be no reason for the valves to be bent unless something's actually broken inside the motor. But it turned over easy, and with compression and spark plugs in there, it feels like it has a compression stroke, so it should run. I just hope everything else wasn't or isn't destroyed, because like I said, we bought this car in not running condition, so hopefully we can get it running tonight. All right, guys, so back at you with an update on the PT Cruiser. I have all the vacuum lines ran. The last owner had cut this, did some ghetto stuff, cracked the turbo. I got the intake manifold on, the map sensor, coils all plugged in, timing's done. There is no water in it right now, but I'm not worried about that for the first startup. It doesn't have a power steering belt either. I just took the battery out of the Spirit RT outside, have all this plugged in. So let's see if all this work we did today was worth it. So with the battery plugged in, at least the lights coming on inside, and push your clutch in, feel. I don't hear or see any leaks. It's primed 3 times, so. Ooh, sounds like it wants to run. Sounds like it wants to run. It's idling real low. We have life. We have life. Alternator spinning, timing belt looks good. We must have did timing right. We had the right tools, so fans on. Maybe a sensor or something is unplugged, because it didn't seem like it wanted to start too well. But you know, this car has been setting for who knows how long. The gas is bad. Who knows what's wrong with it. I did check the injectors in the injector cleaner over there. The injectors fired A1. They were clean, all even, everything. So I'm gonna put some water in this thing and let it heat cycle once or twice. Make sure there's no blown head gasket or anything, because like I said, with a snap timing belt, the motor is non-interference, so it shouldn't have hit any valves. It sounds pretty clean, so let's, you know, hopefully for the best. But at least in a video this time, we fixed something instead of just tearing something apart. Non-running car this afternoon, running, on, fans work, alternator works, everything's working. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. If this thing is 100% and we have time, we will try to get it tagged tomorrow and take it to the track. We still have the 2-liter over here waiting to get built. There's the 12-to-1 pistons. There's the head. As you see, the stuff is nice and covered up because I don't want to get dirty or anything like that, or get it dirty or anything like that. So as always, leave a comment down below. What do you think about the PT Cruiser? Give this video a thumbs up. Give YoSpilt a subscribe. If you like any of the other content, let me know down in the comments below. And as always, you guys are the greatest.